In a world where powers determine one's fate, Quinn, a bullied and orphaned teenager, struggles to survive. At 16, he's sent to the military to prepare for war against the alien Dalki. But everything changes when Quinn discovers the vampire system, a secret ability that strengthens him with each sip of blood. As he navigates the treacherous military life, Quinn finds unexpected camaraderie with his new friends and allies, Vorden, Peter, Layla, and Aaron, who become his support system in the rigorous military school. Together, they must face the challenges of training, the looming threat of the Dalki, and the sinister forces within their own ranks. But when Peter, the quiet and reserved member of their group, is targeted by ruthless bullies, the group's dynamics are shattered. In a shocking turn of events, Vorden is pushed into a deadly portal, leaving Quinn racing against time to save his friend. Can Quinn keep his true nature hidden while rescuing Vorden? Or will his secrets be exposed in the process?
The room looked like a prison cell brawl gone bad. Inside was the top half of Ian's body on the floor, blood still oozing from the bottom half and his guts spilling out. If Vorden had never seen a scene like this before, it would cause a normal person to throw up all over the place. Then when he looked up, he could see Quinn kneeling on the floor in pain. It was, as he thought, the creature that attacked him before was him. Although he no longer looked like the beast anymore, it was clear, the damaged uniform, the dead body on the floor. "Hey, Quinn, are you all right? Is something wrong? Do you need anything?" Vorden asked. "Get away!" Quinn groaned out as the pain continued to shoot through his whole body. "Maybe I can help." "I said get away!" Quinn's voice sounded deep and dark as he lifted his head. Vorden could see his eyes were now glowing red. "Hey, Vorden, I think you better listen to the kid. He could be turning into that thing again," Rayton said. But it was too late. Vorden had taken one step too many and was now within striking distance. Quinn lashed out, flinging his arm at Vorden. However, he was able to lift his metal chair up in time, blocking the attack, but it didn't do too much. The metal chair was immediately ripped by Quinn's hands, and the attack managed to craze Vorden's chest, flinging him backwards. "Blood!" Quinn screamed. "Give me blood!" The smell coming off Vorden's chest was so sweet. "What did I tell you? That chair was useless," Rayton complained. "Quick, seal the door shut." Vorden no longer hesitated, and using his abilities, he pulled the broken door back in place and, using all his powers, quickly sealed it up. Quinn was no longer chasing after Vorden, but instead knelt on the floor, crying in pain. Vorden stayed there with his hands held up, holding the door in place, fear that whatever was inside or whatever was happening to Quinn would come out again and attack him. The screams continued for a good 15 minutes until they eventually died down and stopped. "Quinn?" Vorden called out softly, hoping not to startle him. "Is everything okay?" "Yeah," Quinn replied. "Just give me a few moments. I'll let you know when it's okay." The pain had finally stopped, and Quinn really did need a few minutes to get a hang of everything, for the system was revealing so much new information to him in one go. "Congratulations, evolution was successful. You are now a vampire. Charm, 5. Blood family bonus, 0. Just looking at his status screen alone, so much had changed. Quinn had yet to put his extra stat point, but it seemed like 2 more options were added to the stats screen. The first one being the charm stat, and the second being a blood family bonus. Although with no explanation, Quinn was clueless to what these 2 things did. But what he did understand was that he had gone from a halfling into a full-fledged vampire now. Quinn had expected this change might have happened as he continued to level up. He only hoped that it didn't happen so soon. For there was the worry, now that he was a vampire instead of a halfling, what happened when he stepped into the sun? However, there were even more messages to come from the system. Skill, blood ritual unlocked. 0 of 2 members. New skill, daze. 2 new skills had been unlocked, although there was no description at all for the first one, which just left Quinn confused. However, now he knew there was some use for the charm stat. But the messages didn't stop there. Shop has been unlocked. New tutorials have been unlocked. System level 2 will now activate. Just then a screen had appeared in front of Quinn, and once again it was the handsome blonde man he had seen the last time, the man who had taught him the hammer strike and the flash step. "Congrats," the man said. You have now officially joined the family. I thought maybe a simple human wouldn't be able to make it this far, but it looks like my little experiment was a success. Now that the system has been upgraded to level 2, I had a good friend of mine install an AI system with my voice. It's amazing, right? Now you'll never feel alone again, and if you ever have a question about the system, just ask. What? Quinn thought. Why wasn't the system like this from the beginning? Now you're probably thinking, why didn't I design it this way from the very beginning? The truth is, you needed to be able to get this far on your own. From your own mistakes along the way, they can only make you stronger. For some reason, Quinn felt the urge to punch the man if he ever met him in real life. Now, before I leave you, although the AI system will help you answer any questions you have about the system, it is not able to go beyond that, so here are my final recorded words. I'm sorry, but now that you are a vampire, others will come looking for you. They have already blended into society, so it's almost impossible to tell who is one and who isn't. If you want to live a life of freedom as I did, then get stronger, create a force of your own, and fight back. Good luck, my friend. With that, the recorded message had ended, and the screen had disappeared. Quinn had many questions he wanted to ask the man, but he knew it was impossible. With the new system upgrade and the shop unlocked, he wanted to check out all the new things, but as he looked at the dead body in front of him, reality had hit him. I'm really not human anymore, am I? Quinn wanted to get stronger to protect himself and others from the abuse of those above, but now he had just killed a man, but for some reason, he didn't feel sad about it. In fact, it felt like it was just something he needed to do to survive. Before Quinn was to check out all the new things the system had revealed there, was one more problem he needed to face, and it was on the other side of the door. It was time to confront Vorden. Around 10 minutes had passed since Vorden had last heard Quinn say anything, but he preferred this over the screaming Quinn. Before, he felt like at any second a rampage might start up from him, but right now he was relaxed and no longer had his hand held up holding the door. He leaned up against the door with his back propped up against it. Hey, what are we still doing here? Rayton asked. Any second now that guy could be eating us. I don't understand. But he isn't, is he? Vorden replied. Do you think he could have eaten us just now, to be honest? I don't even think me holding up the door with my ability would have been enough to stop him. He then lifted his hand across his chest. The wound had dried up and was starting to scab over. Then movement from the other side of the door was heard as Quinn started to lift himself up from the ground. Vorden, are you still there? Quinn asked. Yeah, I'm here. You all right now? Yeah, I'm okay. You probably want to know what just happened, don't you? Well, I'd be lying if I said no. Quinn then took a deep breath as he prepared to tell Vorden the whole tale. It was hard for him. Unlike Layla, who had been so accepting of it, not everyone was like her, and he was afraid of Vorden's reaction. He slowly started at the beginning about how he had obtained a book, and after using it felt different all of a sudden. Quinn then went on to explain the events at school, and even things that happened with Layla, all up to the point where he had arrived in the portal world, eventually turning into the bloodsucker. There were some details he decided to leave out, though. There was no reason for him to reveal that his ability was like a system, but only that he grew more powerful with blood. He also left out everything to do with the system, including the mysterious blonde-headed man. This mystery was his own problem to deal with, and he only needed to tell Vorden what he needed to. There was silence between the two for a few moments as Quinn finished the story. Vorden was, of course, shocked by the whole thing. Vampires, he didn't even know there were such things, and if Quinn had told him this before, he would have thought he had gone mad. But Vorden had seen it. He had seen what Quinn had turned into, and Ian's dead body in the room was proof of that. You know, I knew you were different from the moment I met you, said Vorden. What do you mean? Quinn asked. Do you know how abilities work? Every person has a number of mutant cells inside their body that they can activate. The more cells a person can activate, the stronger their ability level. My ability allows me to replicate these cells from one person into my own body. That's why if someone is only a level 1 Earth user, I can only copy the same number of mutant cells from them. But when I shook your hand, I felt the different cells in your body, Quinn. Just for whatever reason, I couldn't replicate them. It tried and tried, forming and breaking down, but every time they would end up in failure. It was the first time something like that had ever happened. Are you scared of me, Vorden? Scared, Quinn? Everyone has their own secrets that they don't want others to know, some more so than others. It's understandable why you hid it. The government, military, and the big families would all be trying to get their hands on you, trying to use your power for themselves. Vorden then turned around and moved the metal door out and into the corridor. The metal door was placed to the side, and when he lifted his face, his mouth remained wide open. To his surprise, Quinn looked almost like a completely different person. he had a whole new energy surrounding him. Quinn had grown a few inches in height, his skin looked super smooth and had gone slightly pale, while his face looked a little more masculine. "Now this might be a tough one to explain," Vorden said. Before leaving the room, Vorden went to check on Ian's body. He continued to search and search, but could find no sign of the advanced tier crystal. Was he lying about it? But what he did see was 2 bite marks on the neck of Ian. Right now, Quinn looked completely normal, but looking at the bite marks on Ian's neck, it reassured him that everything Quinn said was the truth. The 2 of them went looking around until they had come across a toilet. Inside was a mirror for Quinn to look at himself. The changes weren't so drastic that you couldn't tell it was Quinn, but it looked like he had just gone on a 12-week model training course. They continued to walk around and ended back in the arena where the 2 of them fought. The 2 looked at the mess they had caused, Quinn thinking about when he was a bloodsucker, and Vorden thinking about the little one. There were scraps of metal all over the place, multiple broken chairs, and across the floor, blood. For now, Quinn was full from his last meal, and he also had to fill up his blood bank. Based on Ian's information, the portal was most likely to be in this building, a secret switch of some sort, hidden somewhere, but the 2 of them had no clue where that would be. After searching around for a while and no success, the 2 of them sat down on the arena floor. Quinn asked why Vorden was even here in the first place, and gave the simple reply of, "I came after you." Although they didn't stay on the subject for long, as it seemed, Vorden kept steering away from the conversation. Quinn assumed it was something to do with Peter, and right now that was the last person the 2 of them wanted to speak about. That's when Vorden's stomach started to growl. It had been a while since he had eaten the last food pill. "Are you hungry?" Quinn asked. "Aren't you?" For a second there was another awkward silence between the 2. "If you want, I can give you some of my blood," Vorden said. "You know, I do eat normal food as well." The 2 of them started to laugh and joke about a few things as time passed by. "It's a shame you can't use your abilities in school. If it was a normal ability, my family could offer you protection. The military wouldn't try hurting you." Although Quinn could try to pass off the vampire abilities as something normal, there was the problem that there was no skill like it. They would immediately assume he was an original, and there was now something that worried him even more. On the video the system had shown, the blonde man stated others would now be looking for him. Were others referring to other vampires? If so, he needed to keep this a secret even more so than before. From the sound of the video, they didn't sound like they would be welcoming to him. Then something clicked in his head. There was something he could learn that wasn't part of his vampire skills. The level 6 ability book, the Shadow Book.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.